nerds. It is Thursday. I am freshly out of the shower and we're going to talk about reality television. I think that the producers of Netflix reality shows are maybe listening to me because Megan and I just started watching the new season of Love is Blind, which has been out for a little bit, but it's not quite finished yet. And we've only watched the first section of episodes, which are the pod episodes. For those of you who are not familiar with this show, the premise is that these people, a group of men and women, are brought in. They go into these pods that have little couches in them, and they can talk to the person on the other side of the wall, but they cannot see them. And so you just get to know people by listening to their voice, talking to them about things. You form a connection, and then somebody, one or the other person, proposes to the other person. Then you leave the pods. You spend some time on vacation, often in Mexico, but it has sort of varied. I think they're there for like 4 or 5 days, and then you go back home, and there's a whole like meeting the parents and meeting the friends and all that kind of stuff while they like get to know each other in real life. And then they go to the altar and they either say I do or I don't when they get there. And that has always been probably the most stressful of the parts because, wow, people will change their mind on a serious whim at that moment. They'll be like, yes, I do or I don't. We've been shocked by it every time. But I've often talked about how I wish I understood how these reality shows were filmed versus how they are edited and presented to us. Because it has become clear over watching the last 3 seasons of Love is Blind that we see things out of order. So they orchestrate things to tell a story, which is part of the reality show editing process. The editors are very talented. Like, that is a skill set that is impressive to take all of this footage, of which there is a bunch, and try and narrow it down. And also, they don't know until the couples couple up, like, who is going to be important. So obviously they can't really make the pod decisions until people have proposed. But from the narrative of the show, Megan and I have always sort of assumed that people propose at different times, and some people get really excited because sometimes there'll be a proposal in the first episode, but we've never known. And we've also wondered other things like, where do these people sleep? Are they really on dates all the time? Like, what is the deal? And I don't know if it's just that the people involved in this reality show are more familiar with Love is Blind, so they're talking about process more, or if it's that the editors have decided to let us in on that, or it just happens to be a change in the mood. But this time, one of the guys talked about asking to propose early, which made us realize that actually no one proposes until almost the end, which kind of makes sense in that we saw a lot of people who proposed and then we like saw them back in the rooms and we were like, oh, I wonder what they do. And the answer is because they're actually still going on dates, people generally don't propose until the end. And that was fascinating. Also makes a lot more sense, but in editing, you can mess with those stories and play with it to make the episodes kind of cool. The other thing that I personally think, this is probably not true, but we're pretty sure that they don't let people sleep. Like, we've never seen them in a bedroom. We see them sometimes working out. We see them eating in the kitchen. We see them hanging out in the living room. But this season in particular, we have seen people sleeping on the couches so much. And so now we think that they just let them date in shifts. And so some people like date in the middle of the night because they're kept in an artificial environment and they don't know whether it's daytime or nighttime. And so everybody's just sleeping on the couches. In fact, in this particular season, one of the women fell asleep in the middle of a date. It was a very stressful moment for us. The editors, once again, very talented, did a great job. Megan and I were both like, oh my God, we're so stressed because the guy on the other side obviously can't see that she's asleep, and he professed her love, and then he professed his love to her, and then she said nothing because she was asleep. And then he got really upset and stormed off, and we were like, oh no. So that was really fun. But we think that maybe they just don't let them sleep. We also wondered how long these moments are with them, because obviously they're edited to just the most exciting things. And they actually talked about this woman being in the pod with that guy for almost 10 hours. So that is like your entire day. And we do see them eating meals in the pod sometimes and other things. The other thing we saw this time, which I thought was really interesting, is we've seen people receive gifts in the pod and we've seen people eat food in the pod. But this time, one of the girls cooked cupcakes in the kitchen for a guy because it was his birthday. And I guess those get delivered. And that was really interesting because the other girl he was dating was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. And I was thinking, can she not just order a cake? Has everybody been making this food that they give to the other person this whole time? I don't think so, because they eat a wide range of things. Like, I think some food is definitely brought into for them. But I really did just have a whole shift in my worldview of this show. So I feel like with this particular season, I have learned a little bit more, and then I have a lot more questions. But I'm still endlessly fascinated by the creation of Love is Blind as a reality television show. Do I want to be on the show? No, I am not interested in finding love or a husband. Do I want to work on this show? Yes, I think it'd be super fun. I want to see how it all works from the inside. I'm so interested. I think I'd enjoy working on reality TV. I think I would enjoy, I don't necessarily like film editing, so I'm not sure that I would actually enjoy editing reality television, but I think that I would enjoy looking at a big picture and thinking about the moments that I could pull together and how you can not only drive the narrative of the time passage, but also the narrative of individual characters. You can create heroes and villains just by editing. And I think that that is an incredible power. And I think it's a really interesting medium. And I also think that people should maybe let the people on Love is Blind sleep on not the couches. It's just a thought. Anyway, that's where my brain has been today. Hopefully you enjoyed this dive into what is reality television and why does Mallory enjoy it. I'm going to maybe watch more episodes with Megan tonight. Maybe we'll get through Mexico and I'll talk about other parts of this process. But for now, I'm going to edit this video and I'll see you tomorrow.